Hello. We're about to have a real heart-to-heart about being a flight attendant. Anyways, so I had to give up some audio quality for this video because my phone is about to die. And because new iPhones, the last like 4 iPhones, don't have a headset jack and have this little, you know, and you need a dongle piece, I can't use my mic. So I'm so sorry about this, guys, but I really want to get this video done. And my phone is currently hooked up to the wall outlet in the bathroom, and the phone is connected to a suction cup on the mirror. The struggle is real. Aircraft I was on today didn't have the outlets. Anyways, we're gonna get real personal and real about what actually goes on. And I would say the first year to year and a half of being a flight attendant. Sometimes it takes more than that, but for me it was about a year and a half. So, first thing is finances. Now, this is gonna seem real bizarre, but I have coworkers, I have friends who have left 6-figure jobs, making over $100,000, $200,000 a year to be a flight attendant. Now, no one's saying that you'll never get to that point as a flight attendant, because there's ways after a certain amount of years to make a really good living from doing this if you work right and you're only the lead and you only work international flights and per diem and all that stuff added up. It adds up after time. So I'm not saying that this profession makes you broke, because not necessarily. I'm talking about the transition period. Your first few years, sometimes first 5 years. For me, I would say first 2 years of the job. You're at introductory pay, you're switching professions, you're switching careers, and you're also a lot of the times having to move from one city to another on the drop of a dime. And I say drop of a dime because some airlines do hire for specific airports and specific bases. A lot of airlines nowadays don't. You go to training, sometimes it's paid, sometimes it's not, depending on who you work for. It's not the regular rate quite yet, but you get paid, or I got paid, and you're having to close off finances from your old life, essentially. So it's another thing I'm gonna say. Being a flight attendant is a lifestyle. It is not just a job, not just a career. It is a whole lifestyle. So you're switching from one lifestyle and career to another. Even if you're just a college student and you're moving from home, you have to close up finances like car payments, last month's rent and your deposit, and move to another city or move into a situation with other flight attendants, but you still have to put money down plus whatever the first month is, unless you are lucky enough to get hired in a city where your parents still live, or you're married and you don't have a mortgage and you have no kids, all of those things. Anyways, you started from one life to another, so you have to manage your finances very well. So if you don't know how to manage finances before hopping into this lifestyle, it'll be an adjustment, so always think about that. Second thing, once again, being a flight attendant is a lifestyle. It is not just a job, a career. You sometimes have to change how you think and how you perceive things, and you're letting go of things that you no longer have control of. So you have to think, okay, I'm used to waking up at 7 a.m. every day and going to sleep at 9 p.m. Nope. I'm not a morning person, which, to be honest, I'm still not. I'm still working on that. Nope. Because you'll get called for a 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. flight. I mean, you gotta wake up at 2. And be up, alert, awake, perky, happy, to help other people. You have to get used to not being in the same place, not being around your family, not... Okay, folks. Take like 56. Anyways, let's just start this whole thing all over again. I am currently in Charleston in my bathroom, in my hotel room, on the ottoman that I moved to the bathroom with a spare pillow. And we're gonna get real about the things that you should consider before becoming a flight attendant with any airline. So, 1. Finances. You are switching careers, you are switching jobs, you are switching lifestyles. That comes along with, if you are an established adult, ending a lease, beginning a lease, moving to a whole new city, trying to pay down debt, student loans. These are all things you want to consider before becoming a flight attendant, because once again, it's not just a job or a career, it is a lifestyle, and you're going to need a new rhythm to your new lifestyle. So all those things are not necessarily cheap. Not all airlines pay for training, and some of them that do pay for training, it doesn't pay a lot, not enough to do first, last, and security in a whole new city. So that's the very first thing. Second thing, once again, I'm saying this is a lifestyle. It is not a job, it is not a career, it is a lifestyle. And I'm gonna say this 56 million times in this video. That is mainly because a lot of people think, oh, that's a really cool job or a really cool career to have. You have to change your entire way of being, thinking, your sleep schedule or lack thereof, your eating schedule, what you eat, how you eat. If you are a person who likes to go out to eat a lot, or who is vegetarian or vegan, or only eat fish or things like this, those are things you have to consider as well, because in the beginning you got a budget, and you can't always afford Whole Foods. Shoot, I couldn't even afford Publix when I first started. So that's something I had to reconsider. I had to change out my workout routine, which became non-existent for the first year, which is really sad. Don't do that. I also had to change how I communicate with others in my personal life, how I dated, how I didn't date for a while. Those are things that I had to change to fit my new quote-unquote lifestyle. Third thing is your mental state, loneliness. Now, the weirdest thing, the hardest thing, the realest thing about this job that a lot of people do not talk about is mental health and loneliness. People don't understand why. You're traveling the world, you're meeting new people, you get to see friends, work with friends, go to see family who live in different states. You have to make the time for it. If you're a very family-oriented or friend-oriented person, you'll still be that way when you start this job. But if you're not a person who can spend time alone, this may not be for you. I say this because for the first few years, sometimes more, you're not going to be able to see family on Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, 4th of July, Labor Day, all of those things. You'll most likely be working because you're a junior. And those are things that come with seniority after time, after you put in your time, basically. So if you don't think you could not make it for Christmas, not seeing your family Thanksgiving, birthdays, anniversaries, if those are things that really, really bother you, that make you break down, if you need to see your family every single day or talk to them every single day, it's hard. Time zones, different sleep schedules, if you have children, it's gonna be hard at first, because unless you are lucky enough to get hired by a company that has a base where you have roots, where you're house is, where your apartment is, where your whole family is, then sorry. You're gonna have to get postcards, phone calls when you have time in between flights, because you're not gonna be able to see them as much as you're used to. And because of that, you can meet as many new people and work with as many new people during the day, but at the end of the day, you're in a hotel room by yourself, sometimes in a strange city for hours or days on end. And unless you've really bonded with every single crew that you work with, and we do get lucky where we meet lifelong friends on this job, but unless you've literally worked with the same people by chance every single time, you're gonna have days where nobody wants to hang out, where nobody's gonna want to have dinner, nobody's gonna want to get drinks, nobody's gonna want to go explore the city with you, and it'll just be you. So that's the third thing on the list. Number one is be happy with you. Be happy with you on your own. Be able to spend time with yourself. And that is something that actually helped me transition into this job. I went from having 2 jobs in college and 2 jobs to 3 jobs for a moment to doing this. And I was an only child for the longest portion of my childhood until my family adopted my brothers and sisters, which I love. But I was an only child for a really long time, and especially my dad made it a fact. Sorry, I have something in my eye. Made it a fact that I could spend time by myself. I could play by myself. And when I was really, really young, I didn't feel that way. I felt hurt and let down when people didn't want to hang out with me, and I was bullied for the longest. But once I got to like 10 or 11, my dad's like, you need to be able to spend time with yourself, have fun with yourself, be able to do an activity by yourself. Still to this day, I am a grown woman and I still enjoy going to the movies by myself. It's weird, but I actually enjoy it. I like having at least one me day a week where I just chill by myself. It could be a 2-day layover or 30-hour layover, but as long as, I'm really sorry guys, I have an eyelash in my eye. As long as I have that woo-saw time, I call it, then I'm happy. I'll explore a city by myself, but that's because I was an only child and I was taught to enjoy time with myself. If you constantly need to be surrounded by people, this might not be the job for you. It seems like it could be, but at the end of the night, once again, you're in a hotel room by yourself. Point 4, we're gonna talk about no control of your lifestyle. If you are a type A person, and I'm not talking about like you like things just so and you're organized and all of these things you like, I'm talking about a type A person in every aspect of your life. The time you wake up, what you eat every day, what time you work out, how you like your bed, how you like this, how you like that, how you like people to approach you. You're gonna have to readjust a little bit. So instead of type A, maybe an A minus. Things change on the drop of a dime. So flights are delayed, cities get changed. You can have a full-fledged schedule or line and your flight gets canceled, or they need a crew unless they have to cancel, or they will have to cancel the flight and you get reassigned to go somewhere completely different. You have to be able to adjust to that and flip to the other side of the coin. You never know what kind of crowd you're gonna get. Like, they could be happy, they could be sad, all these things you need to readjust to that you cannot control. So if this is something that you don't think you can do, being a flight attendant might not be for you, but there's other things in aviation you can do. Plenty of jobs in aviation you can do. You can be an ATC controller, you can be a maintenance person because they follow guidelines. Like, there's a lot of training, but there's not a lot of improvising with that. There is a set of rules that you need to follow and how you follow them. And if that's the type of person you are, that's something you could do. You could be a baggage service person where you help people who lost their bags and how to find them or how to contact them. You could be in reservations. So all these different things you can do in airlines that don't have as much of inconsistency from day to day to day. The fifth thing, I'm sorry I say a lot, guys, is having an open mind. Having an open mind is very, very, very important, because even with watching videos like this and watching other flight attendants and thinking you have a solid foot or idea of what this is, you don't. And this comes from me. I worked in airline since I was basically a goober within a year of getting out of school. I was 19 at the airport when I first started working. I had just turned 19 like 6 weeks before. So I was a goober. And I thought I had a really good handle on what was going on and how to do things. And guess what I learned? I didn't. I knew absolutely nothing about the other side of the airplane. And once I got that out of my mind, I would say in the first 90 days, then I really started to explore and enjoy what I was doing, because those first 90 days were hard. Shoot, those first 6 to 8 months were really, really hard. But once I got the preconceived notion out of my mind, I started to really enjoy what I did on an organic level. So those are all those tips and tricks and things that I have for you guys. And if you have any other questions or concerns, drop them in the comment section below. Make sure to follow me on Instagram. I'll put my name up here somewhere or down there. We'll see. And I'll be posting on IGTV. I post almost daily on Instagram. And if I don't post a photo, I definitely post on stories. And thank you for watching. Thank you for all the love and positivity. And I hope that everyone passes it forward to everybody in their everyday offline lives.